We'll move on. We're now on item number 5, which is audience and public comments on non-agenda items. I have 2 speaker cards, so we will take those first. First is Mrs. Emerson to talk about the Hall Park Gate new petition.
Good evening, Mayor Batchelor and council members. I'm Ginger Emerson, and I'm here this evening to deliver another petition regarding the Hall Park gate matter that will be discussed at your 2x2 meeting later in the week with the school board. And we would like excerpts from this letter read into your record. Based on the number of signatures at 5 minutes per person, we figured we were allotted 4.5 hours of your evening, but rest assured we don't intend to take that much time. So we are writing to voice our disapproval of the recommendations regarding access to Dixon High School through the Hall Park Gate made by the Transportation Advisory Commissioners at their meeting on December 17, 2008. It is our understanding that the matter will be given further consideration by the Council. Therefore, we are requesting once again that our concerns and interests be taken into full account. For those of you who have not reviewed the videotape of the December TAC meeting, we would first point out the serious shortcomings of the discussion held by the commissioners. Rather than immediately focusing on the various options presented by staff, the appropriateness of any access whatsoever through older residential neighborhoods and a community park should have been given foremost consideration. In regard to both vehicular and pedestrian traffic, the commissioners chose to ignore most of the arguments made by the area residents. Either in person at the commission meeting or with our petition delivered December 9, 2008, we cited the major drawbacks to our extended neighborhood and Hall Park remaining alternate routes to the new school. Specifically related to vehicular traffic through our neighborhood, we pointed out the impact extends far beyond Chestnut Street. Although 41 of the 65 signatures on the petition came from those of us living on streets other than Chestnut, there was absolutely no acknowledgement in the staff report or by the commissioners of the problems we are experiencing. The TAC recommendation to attempt to slow traffic on Chestnut by painting a center stripe does nothing to address our concerns about traffic speeding down our other neighborhood streets. Similarly, our alarm about traffic zigzagging through our neighborhood on streets from South 2nd through the Jacobs Park subdivision and on to East Chestnut and vice versa was also dismissed by both staff and the commissioners. This route requires negotiating several sharp right-angle turns in a very short stretch of roadway. At speeds well above those posted in other neighborhoods, drivers screech their brakes, cut corners, and depending on their direction, run stop signs. For your information, and as an example, the turn from West H Street onto Evans Road is posted at 15 miles per hour. At that location, the width of the roadway, particularly at the turn, allows far more room for error than do the turns in our neighborhood. In regard to the proposed stripe on Chestnut Street, there was no consideration of the danger posed to our children by channeling traffic closer to parked cars. It is a fact that in a residential neighborhood, children do dart out into the street, and at least from our perspective, their safety should be of the utmost concern. And are our children any less entitled than most children living in Dixon to play basketball on hoops placed against the curbs in front of their own homes? After all, none of us chose to, nor do we, live on arterial streets where a heavy flow of traffic would have been anticipated. While we appreciate Commissioner Kaler's motion to discourage student traffic by limiting parking time in Hall Park to 2 hours, the commissioners failed to address the other major issue. Much to his credit, Jason Riley of city staff explained that the residents were also concerned about the volume of traffic through the neighborhood. By applying very elementary arithmetic skills to the figures provided by city staff, it is obvious that most of the traffic is a result of parents dropping off and picking up their children. If, as staff observed, 48 cars park in the lot, their drivers account for 96 trips across the counter. Subtracting 96 from the average 1,029 trips leaves 933 trips attributable to adult drivers. It was very apparent that the commissioners did not want to deal with the problems associated with the drop-off pickup traffic. They failed to take into account that the older residential streets were neither intended for nor designed to handle the congestion of traffic converging from all over town. And they ignored the lack of consideration that many adult drivers show for the residents of our neighborhood. No doubt, they also failed to keep in mind that the traffic-related problems reported by the residents in the area around Gretchen Higgins Elementary School have to do entirely with adult drivers. It was also very disturbing to witness how eager one commissioner was to agree with a resident of the Pote development that the private schools at the fairgrounds create a traffic problem in the neighborhood. To those of us living in the immediate area, both the Christian school and the daycare center have been very good neighbors for many years. In the case of the Christian school, they have at their own expense done a great deal to address any traffic issues. So to in any way blame them for the problems is shamefully passing the buck. They in no way deserve such a low blow. Both the commissioner and the Pote resident should be reminded that traffic is stopped on Highway 113 at East C Street in the downtown area for the sake of allowing public school children to cross the street. In regard to vehicular traffic through Hall Park, our concerns were also ignored.
Mrs. Emerson, I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to ask you to bring your comments to a close. We do have other people that wish to speak,
Okay.
so if you could summarize or
No,
make your
there's
closing
no-
statement and give your documents to the
I'll
clerk.
just count on you to read
All right.
this.
Thank you very much.